How's it going, y'all? Figured I just continue off where we left last night. Try to add one more feature. Alright, so last night we did a lot of refactoring around the zombie entity so that we could use a new type of system. I want to see if there's any more collidable traits updatable. So we could continue refactoring this a little bit if we wanted to. And see if we can get it working. I forget if this has an update method. Public update, this dot update. Yeah, we'll just continue to refactor. Why not? So like there's this updatable extension that we could attach to entities that have them like update and do special things. Just a generic update. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to say set update function. And I think this will just take in a callback. So like I said, like BB. And that could be up here we have this already. That's all I gotta do. Type update function. Yeah, let's just do this. And then over here, this will take in an update function. And then we can say this dot update function equal to callback. Basically, I just wanted to add a way to overwrite the update function and not always need it to be in the constructor. Because right now it needs to be in the constructor, which is kind of not how we're doing it in other places. So like I might actually figure out where are we using this. Figure out how to find the references. Isn't it just like here it is. I've already forgotten. What's up, y'all? It's GR. Oh, there it is, GR. Excuse me. So are we using this other places? Let's see. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I don't think I'm using this updatable thing anywhere yet. So like what we could potentially do is in the constructor, we will just add right now, yeah, right now it's required. Let me get rid of this. But now it's going to be like, all right, I'll just keep it, whatever. I think I can just do a this dot update dot bind this type of thing. Implements updatable. So now it's not going to implement anything. I think this should work. Oh, he's running like double speed now. Why is he running so fast? I actually kind of like that he runs that fast. It makes the game more exciting. What are the benefits of Neovim as opposed to VS Code? Right now, I'm not seeing any. Although I guess it's just something new to learn. I haven't tried the Ghostly terminal yet. Can't see the prompt you're typing. Oh, down at the bottom, you mean? Yeah, maybe I could like not do full screen here. I guess you still can't see it, can you? Okay, that might be a little bit better. The only issue with that I'll try to do this. Does the absence of AI make any impact? I would say yes. Like, I feel like I'm not that efficient with it. There's a couple of things you can attach to Neovim that gives you that cursor type of functionality. I think one's called Evente. Evente, Neovim. I was going to try this out if I get time. You basically install it and you get like a side panel where you can do stuff like, you know, chatting with your code base. And then it gives you code suggestions and you can accept them and it applies it to the file. The only issue is that then you have to have like a Claude API key, which means you need to sign up for a Claude account. I'd have to install this, I'd have to learn this, and honestly, I just don't want to do that right now. Like, I don't want to spend all that time learning yet another thing. I just want to get better at the actual, like, Vim motions in the shortcuts and stuff. Is that too loud? I need to turn it down a little bit. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to turn off the sounds so that you guys don't have to hear that. Okay, so what we're doing, we added an update function. We added an update extension, which allows us to add an update method to our entities, and we can do some custom stuff every server tick. But the issue is that I think update is getting called twice because the way the code is structured, we loop through the entities and we call an update method on the entity if it has an update method. So I'm going to go ahead and just rename this to update zombie or something, which, how do you rename a symbol? I have to Google that. I had these memorized like yesterday and then I already forgotten them. Leader RN. I thought it was something like that. So if I just rename this, hover over it, do a rename here, I can say update zombie. Okay, and then this should hopefully update it in my code base, at least in this file. So I think I'll go back to the app. There, the zombie's moving at normal speed now. You know, one thing I noticed, let me move this up too because you guys can't see it, is that the numbers right here are underneath the actual item in the inventory. So we could do a quick fix on that. So let's actually go over here and I will just find where we are doing the inventory bar. I think it's called like a, yeah, inventory bar. We could scroll down a little bit. Somewhere we're displaying the number. Fill text. It must be this one. To test that out, we could just comment it out and see if it goes away. Yeah, all the numbers went away. So this is just a an order of operations things. Like we need to fill the text after we draw the image. There we go. Quick little fix. What else should we do? Might just add this real quick. What is this pop-up? And I'll say feature, actually bug, we'll say fixing inventory hotkey display. Cool. I know, right? Just giving it a shot. People keep talking about it. I've used Vim before. Like I used to SSH into servers and stuff, but I'm trying to get more, like I'm trying to give it a thorough try, like learn the hotkeys, become efficient at it, so I can give it a solid review. Have I tried Wasm? No, I have not. Okay, so some more things we got to do here. This entity still has a collidable trait. And I think the point is to get all these traits off of this thing. So if we get rid of the collidable trait, what this means is that we should be able to figure out, actually, let me go over here and I'll say collidable. Oh, just get hitbox. Okay, so get hitbox is what we want to get rid of. Now, if we get rid of the collidable trait, that means that we need to add an extension, I think. But it already has a destructible. Get damage box, which is different. Collidable. It already has a collidable here. This already has a get hitbox. Static get hitbox with padding. So I think what needs to happen here, get hitbox with padding. I think this might still work. But should it work? Get hitbox with padding. So the game client needs the hitbox from the zombie, which is why we had that static method. Get the size. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to add a method that you can set the size here, and then the size is just going to default to 16 for right now. Put a nice little magic number in there. Now, the reason I'm refactoring this is because the zombie's hitbox is a little bit smaller, so it doesn't get caught when it's moving around. But right now, this thing depends on the positionable, which is kind of weird. I don't like that. I don't even know why positional has a size on it, so that's something that we could probably try to refactor as well. But I would rather this do a this.size here. And then when I create this thing, go ahead and just return that. So I can say new collidable. We can say set size, and we'll say I'll make it smaller. I'll do like a 10. So if it's a 10, if I do an offset of a 2 or a 4, I think the size needs to be like an 8. So the idea is that the position, this is like the position of the entity itself, but then like the hitbox can have an offset and a size difference from the actual position of the entity. So I think what I need to do is get the position. Oops. Get the position. And I don't know, is this a, yeah, that's going to be a copy. So I can say position dot x is going to plus equals this dot offset. Do the same thing with y, like that. And then there we go. Now the reason I'm doing this is because before there's like this weird hitbox method. Let's see. What I need to do here, I need to return collidable.get hitbox. Now I still need to think about what I need to do with this get hitbox static function, because that's used on the front end so that I have an accurate representation of the hitbox size. I think it'd be better if those are just sent over. Like those would be just sent over somehow. I think I need to go to the serialize method and make sure that's added in. Bear with me, I'm trying to figure out if this is a good approach. So now I need to go to the front end, go to the client zombie, and then there's a draw hitbox method somewhere. I thought there's, oh, here it is. So this thing used to depend on that static method. But now instead, what we should probably do is get the collidable. And then I could say this dot get extension, collidable. And then here, instead of the zombie, we could actually just like collidable dot get hitbox, I think. Okay, it works. But what I need to do is I need to find the configuration. So if I go and find the server, there should be like an index in the server. Okay. And I need to actually move this somewhere else. Doesn't really belong there. But I just want to make sure that the hitbox, so the yellow is actually the collide box. So that's where he'll collide with trees and other things. The red is the hitbox, so if a bullet were to hit the red, then it counts as a collision. Let me move this debug flag. But before I do that, let me actually turn it off. Let's save it. Let's commit this. I'll say refactoring. What should I call this? There's like feature, there's bug. I'll just call it clean, whatever. I'll say refactoring zombie to refactoring hitbox out of zombie. Hey, thank you so much, Yako Basadi 2. I'm using Neovim on lighter stuff and just Vim extensions and cursor. Yeah, I could also just use the Vim extension in VS Code or cursor. That probably give me some more bang for my buck. The best reason to use Vim is so that you can tell people you use Vim. Yeah, that's a good reason. I'm still not convinced that not using a trackpad actually makes you more efficient. Like, there's so much flexibility with being able to click and drag and double click on stuff for selecting content. But again, I'm just not good at Neovim yet, so. What's up, Igor? Welcome back. Been a while since I last watched this channel. Where have you been, man? I just started using Neovim a couple days ago. Like, I just wanted to kind of learn it, get better at it. Just because. Is there really a real reason why I'm doing it? Not really. Just seems like a lot of people like Neovim. Like, if you go and look at YouTube, every Neovim video has like 40,000 views. And so if I could just like ride the coattails of Primogen and get some of his viewers, I could grow my channel faster. You know, it's a good strategy on YouTube. Find out what the biggest tech coding content creators are doing. Adopt some of their tech, their tooling, and you'll watch the views just kind of slowly stream in. It's like what I did with the T3 stack with Theo. It's one of the reasons why my channel got so popular. And now the Prime gets like 500,000 views on like every video. So why not just use a little bit of Neovim, get some of those views. Is there some AI stuff in Neovim like in Cursor? Yeah, there's different plugins. I think one of them is called Avanti or whatever. It's basically Cursor for Neovim. A lot of people are using Super Maven with Neovim. I'm wearing a winter jacket to stay warm. Yeah, it's winter where we're living. But sometimes it just gets cold up in my office. Nothing beats using a mouse to highlight. Who said that? To highlight a piece of your code. Okay, so for you people who are really good at Vim, I guess walk me through. Walk me through how you highlight stuff. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to highlight this. Okay. I can just go like this and it's highlighted. You see how easy that was with my mouse? Like, you cannot argue that there's a better way to do this. In Neovim, how do you do it? Or just Vim. You have to go to it. So reverse search to it. Okay. That took like an extra keystroke, bro. And it also took some extra like cognitive load. Like, there's something very simple-minded about I see something, I want to click it, I just go click it. Like, I don't have to think about anything, versus with Vim, like, you have to think, okay, now what's the keystroke? I got to go back to entity/weapon. Here we go. I can delete it. That took 3 delete words, so I can say 3 delete words. There's also like shortcuts for deleting to the end of the sentence, which I don't even remember how to do. This thing will tell me. Delete to the end of the word. What's the end of the line? Money sign. Like, delete end of the line money sign, and then the cursor then goes to the slash, so then I have to like do a shift A to go here and entity slash. I don't know. I'm still learning, right? But I'm still just like hesitant about like, people think you can go so fast with it. I don't know. But one thing I do want to do is this debug flag. We are using this all throughout our code base, and I would rather it live in a config file, which we have here. And I'm going to say export const debug show hitboxes equals true. I want to call hitboxes. Sure, why not? And what we're going to do is go back. One thing I do like about Neovim is the control O and I. Like, I can quickly switch back to where I just was. Very nice. And going to definition, I mean, just doing a GD is pretty cool too. Okay, so there are some cool things about Neovim. Let me not hate on it too much. But I need to delete this thing. And so before I delete it, let's go to it. So /debug, and then let's go to all the references. So I think it's GR. Here we go. G for go, R for references. And then I can find everywhere this is being used. And we'll just go through one by one and like try to refactor this away. What file is this? This is the player. So we have a debug that was brought in from that. And instead, I want a debug hitboxes. And then we need to find the render method. Oh wait, no, are we on the server right now? Why was there debug even used here? Okay, I think I'm in the wrong file. Anyway, let's go back out. I think that was it. There we go. A little bit better. Press VYW, or sorry, VWY. What does VWY do? VWY. WY. I'm not sure I get that. V is visual mode. W is, I'm guessing, word. Y is yank. Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. So wouldn't it be YW, not WY? You got it backwards. I don't think you even need the visual mode either. Just YW. It yanks it, right? Yeah. What is YH? Unless you're saying yeah. Anyway, Do you plan to release this game? Yeah, I plan to get it. I plan to get this deployed out. So the next steps are when I get this game somewhat decent, like I want to get this deployed somewhere on like a VPS. I'm going to have a Next.js application that you can log into with authentication, probably with like Google or something. So I can track maybe stats. And then I'm going to have, I need to figure out how to have multiple game servers on the same VPS. I don't know if that's maybe just spinning up like child processes, or if that's I want to actually bring in a third-party service that I've used in the past to quickly spin up game servers. Just a matter of like one person could easily just abuse the whole game and like bring it down for everybody. But at least getting this somehow set up into a CI/CD pipeline and automatically deploying so that people can join in and play for fun when I'm like streaming, I think would be very, very cool. It's just one of the things where it's like I want to focus on the core mechanics first before focusing on getting it deployed anywhere. You can try VIW when you caret is hovering over the word. You're on a word VIW. Okay. Let me try that. VIW. I'm going to go over a word, VIW. Okay. V is visual. What's I? Run. Wait, no, I is where? Bro, am I blind? Where is I? Okay, I guess it doesn't tell you where I is. Do you guys see I here? Is there like more that I'm not seeing here? Is there like another page? I have to go and find I. Next word. Enter I text object identifier single character. I is inside. Ink inside. B inside. Inner word. Oh, I opens up a whole nother panel. I see. The visual I. Wait, how did I get that panel open? Inner paragraph, inner sentence. So if I want to grab everything from here to this curly brace. Ah, okay. It gives me the inner and I can delete it. Okay, that's kind of an overpowered thing to learn. Very important to learn. So VI, curly brace, delete everything in there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I mean, I think that definitely is a little bit more efficient than like what I would do here if I was coding like, let's go to the same file, get hitbox. I can't even type get hitbox. Here we go. If I wanted to grab everything here, the way I do it is I typically just go like this. Okay, so the difference is if I went to VI curly brace, how do I want to delete it, but then insert. Okay. I'll get a hang of it. Let me, what I do over here? You like that? I got VS Code on standby. In case I don't know what I'm doing. So let's go over here. Git add all. We'll say git commit clean, and then I'll say moving the debug flag to the config file. Why are you guys saying the left curly brace though? V inner curly brace. Oh. Okay. That's pretty cool. Is there a way to, I want to like, is there a way to delete and automatically go to the insert mode so that like I don't have to, like I understand I highlight the whole thing here, but I just want to like start writing and have it just clear out. Because now if I do I, it's going to go insert mode. If I do delete, and then I have to do I, and now I'm not indented correctly, so then I have to go here, and now I'm ready to go. So there's like a lot of extra steps just to like, I know you guys know. Press C. CI. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Wow, okay. Okay, now I'm starting to like Neovim. Okay, it's growing on me. What does C stand for? Clear? Change. Change, and then inner. Yeah, does C stand for change or clear? So VI would be highlighting, CI would be clearing it out. And then also goes to insert mode. That's deep. Why did you use Next.js for the game? Isn't it more convenient to just use React Vite? Since there's a lot of dynamic stuff going on. Well, the only thing that Next.js is being used for is the housing of the game. Like the entire game is built using vanilla JavaScript. Like there's a game class and you initialize it, it finds a canvas element, and then it just starts like rendering stuff into the canvas and connects to the WebSocket server. Right now, Next is going to be used for like the landing page. Maybe there'll be like a leaderboard or something. So there's going to be stuff that's outside of the game client. Technically, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I just figured there's going to be some like web related stuff that's going to wrap the game, but then the actual game client itself is going to run inside of Next.js. But Vite, Next.js, that's not the important part of this whole project. The game is the important part. The WebSocket server is the important part. The housing is just like an afterthought, in my opinion, and that doesn't really matter. If you don't need insert mode, use D. Okay, so C assumes I want insert mode. Don't worry, y'all. After I learn all these shortcuts, I'm going to make like the best crash course Vim video. Health is declared, but it's never used. Velocity. Where's velocity used? I feel like I spelt the word movable wrong. Okay, I think that's another thing I gotta refactor. Right now, this thing has a velocity on the zombie class itself. I don't think it needs that. So if I delete that, I'm curious what breaks. Okay, here's something I could use, if you guys know this. This file has a lot of TypeScript errors in it right now. I want a panel where I can see all the TypeScript errors, so I can start like easily going through them one by one. Do y'all know how to do that? Is there like a panel built into Neovim Kickstart for like showing all the TypeScript errors? When the cursor's on a word, press star. Oh, okay, that's like the command D and VS Code. Okay, that's super useful. Beautiful. I think in my setup it's leader GD. So capital D. Oh crap. What'd I press? Text document declaration is not supported by any of the servers registered in the current buffer. Okay, I guess it doesn't work. It may be leader D for something diagnostic for Kickstart. Yeah, let's try to find it. Wait, where's my here it is. Using Neovim Kickstart, is there a way to show all of TypeScript errors in my file? Population location list. L open. Telescope diagnostics. Show the diagnostics for the current file. DL, DQ, DT. Let's try DL. Where is it? Wait, did it say leader? Command. No, leader DL. Okay, that just deleted the file. Hold on. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, there has to be a shortcut for that. That's kind of a lot to type in. Space Q will put them in a quick fix. Leader SD. Ah, there it is. This is good enough. I'll check out the trouble extension later. Like, it's fine. I don't want to go and like configure my Neovim configuration right now. SD. Can I remember that? SD. Open diagnostic quick fix. Oh, this works too. You know, if I just read the help that popped up, like that could actually help me too. And then if I click enter, it takes me to it. Awesome. Star, highlight that one. Diagnostics for the file. If I wanted a full thing. What was it again? Search diagnostics. Search diagnostics. So this is like a full project. The other one is just a file base, I think. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Anyway, so I remove velocity. So now, like, if I want to get the velocity, I could say movable equals this dot get extension. Velocity. Okay. So now if we get the velocity, is there an easier way to, like, I want to delete this one, and this one. I think if I do visual mode, no. I guess that's good enough. I'm sure there's an easier way to do that. Like, I wanted to delete those 3 keywords and the period. But this is getting the velocity from the movable extension. Then we update it. But then we need to make sure we say movable dot set velocity. And then we need to say pass it the new copy of what velocity should be. And someone asked, why am I not using Unity? Because it's more enjoyable to just, like, code stuff. Like, I'm not trying to make a game dev channel. I'm trying to make it, like, this is a coding channel. Using Unity is more of like, I feel like I couldn't really make videos about that without killing my channel completely. At the very least, what I'm building here, it's still somewhat related to web dev because I'm using like a WebSocket server. I'm planning to bring in a database using Next.js. I'll bring in like an ORM probably. Unity, I feel like would just kill my channel. So you gotta be a little bit strategic when you're building out videos, because doing this game dev stuff enough has made my views go to like basically nothing. Hey, thank you for the subscription, for the sub. I broke something. Cannot read property of undefined ext. This dot velocity from the zombie entity in the game server. So I probably still have some errors here. Yep, here it is. Handle movement. I need to get these two and then probably go down back to here, paste that in. Although I am curious why are these still considered like errors? I fixed this. These are fixed, but it still thinks that there's errors for some reason. You know, I think I might call it refactor, removing velocity from zombie. Are you using a game engine? No, we're just building our own thing. How long have I been using Neovim for? I downloaded it a while back, like months ago. And I think I played around with it for a day. But then recently, maybe a day or two ago, I decided to go more all in on like learning it. So I've been just trying to learn the key, like the most important key bindings, and then just like memorize them. That's what I'm focusing on. And I've been using Vim for a while for like when I do like server work and SSHing into servers. So it's not like I'm completely new to Vim in some of the commands, but there's a lot of stuff that I had to learn over these past 2 days or 3 days. like going to definition, as you can tell in the stream, like how to highlight the inner text, which I've already forgotten. Like, was it C? I already forgot what it is. It's like leader. No, it's not leader. It's C. There we go. Yeah, so there's like C, I, and then I can do a curly brace. I can do DI curly brace. I can also do VI curly brace, and that'll like highlight it. What else I learned? How to show the TypeScript errors. Delta time is never used. I guess I could just get rid of it then. Okay, if I do space Q again, it'll actually clear out. Entity.damage. Yeah, okay. Subscribe at tier 1 for 3 months in advance. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much. I think it means they paid me something. Welcome. You can select the lines and then do a search and replace in that selection. Neovim looks hard. I don't think it's hard. It's just a matter of like committing yourself to memorizing these commands. Right? I played piano for like 8 years. If you played an instrument, you have to memorize a whole song, right? That's much harder than learning a handful of Neovim commands. Learning a whole 16-page piano song, like that's hard. Learning a couple CI curly braces isn't too hard to do. You can fly through errors with that and do bulk edit. Coding with Vim hotkeys is fun. Put next and previous of quick fix in the key bindings. It'll save you so much time. Oh, you mean like, what does that do? What does next and previous do? Oh no, I just closed the thing. Well, luckily I can just get it back up, right? So server zombie, here we go, we're back at it. Memorizing is the easy part, and then getting the muscle memory so that you don't like mistype the keys can be a little bit more challenging, I think. But then basically like reducing how long it takes your mind to think about needing to do an action. That's the stuff that just takes time. Like muscle memory takes time. But sooner or later it's going to become like automatic. Like I need to go down to like line 14, so like boom. Go up, down. What am I trying to add in here? There's just so much stuff I need to refactor in this code base. What is the best book about programming that you have read? I don't really read books, honestly. Clean Code, maybe, but I don't think it's like great. Clean Architecture is a decent book, but I don't think it's great. People talk about Pragmatic Programmer. I have never read it. Do you think any of the things you've learned developing the game has helped with other projects? No. No, not at all. I think it's kind of refreshing my memory on object-oriented programming. I used to do a lot of Java programming back when I first got into this industry. And so it's like refreshing my memory of like abstract classes, protected, private, interfaces, and I am getting a little bit better at TypeScript. So, okay, let me take that back. I think making this game has gotten me a little bit better at TypeScript and object-oriented programming. But I don't know how much better. But it does help you think more. If you're building out a game, you have to think a lot more about how do you decouple your systems. Because especially a multiplayer game, you have like a front end, you have a back end, or you have a client and a server. And if those are both written in the same language, you have this, it's a lot easier to share code, which is great, but it could be very dangerous because now you have like all this server code and you start pulling it into your client and your client gets super coupled to your server. And you have to really be, what's the word? You have to be very like cognizant of what you are importing into your client, because some things like the client should never know about, some things the server should never know about. I think in this game we are at one point, like we were importing or knowing about the sounds on the server side and telling the client to play the sounds. If you think about that, should the server know about any of the sounds? Probably not. So we did a refactoring where instead of the server saying, hey, play this sound at this location, now what it does is it emits events. And it says, hey, the player just got killed. And then when that happens, we have a client event listener on player death that runs some code when the backend sends off that event and says, hey, a player died, or hey, a player just attacked, a player got hurt. And then we kind of use the sound manager on the client to play a sound at a position. So it's just that type of stuff that in web dev, usually everything's just following a pattern to begin with. So you have like this nice decoupling that happens. I'm not saying you don't have to worry about decoupling when you're doing web dev, because obviously you do. You have like your data layer, you have your controller layer, presentation layer, stuff like that. But I don't know, there's something about like game dev and building an actual like larger code base that it just activates different parts of your brain and how to like divide up your code and make stuff modular. Typescript tea time. What's up? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. How many people are on the stream? I haven't even been watching my analytics. Hold on. $82, not too bad. Check out Twitch. We got 13 viewers on Twitch. Cool. Hey, what's up, Daria? Welcome, welcome. For sure. Thinking about game dev architecture activates the almonds. Not sure what almonds you're talking about, but I'll agree. My almonds are activated. Angular for beginners. Yeah, I think Angular is good. I mean, Angular is like one of the first frameworks I learned before I dived into like React and Vue. So I think it's pretty good. It's just a more structured way to learn front-end frameworks. Like it uses TypeScript. I think when you get into dangerous territory is you start pulling in stuff like RxJS, which I think is awful. Like when we tried to use RxJS on our Angular project, I just didn't understand what the purpose of this like was. Like it just felt like over-engineering to me. We had like pipes and takes and whatever with these like weird. I just don't think I fully understood it. But again, I learned AngularJS back. That was like 2015 or 16. So I wasn't as versed as I am now with like different web technologies. So maybe if I looked at RxJS now, I'd be like, okay, this makes sense. Observables and stuff. Is your repo public? It actually is. It is. But I have been refactoring a lot of stuff all the time. So if you like make a pull request and expect me to merge it, you might get a lot of conflicts constantly. What's up, Coder Elite? Welcome to the stream. Okay, you can put telescope searches in quick fix. Are you using sprites for rendering or just normal images? Use CD, bro. What's up? Do you have any tips for job interviews? By the way, position is full stack Node.js. I mean, yeah, the soft skill advice I'd say is just be friendly, be enthusiastic, actually act like you want the job and you're excited to join the team. You're excited for the tech stack. You're excited for programming. Like those type of vibes can just like really make you more valuable, because when you have 3 people interviewing you and you just don't seem like you're that excited, but then someone else comes the next day and is like super hyped. It's too hard to tell someone's skill level in an interview, especially if it's like a shorter interview that's only like 30 minutes. And so honestly, a lot of times we just go off of like, do they seem competent at what they're saying? And do they seem excited and happy? And do they seem like they'd be a nice person to work with? Like that's honestly like what happens during interviews. Now, granted, if you're interviewing for like a FANG position and they have like 9 rounds of interviews, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a normal company that actually like treats you like a human. Yeah, I just say get well at explaining. If you say you use full stack Node.js, like make sure you understand how to talk about Express.js and make sure you understand how to talk about NPM, all this other terminology, just so that you're not like trying to fumble around words. Name of the font, I don't know. Does your icon generator still make money? It does. It still makes money every month. Not as much as it did, but people keep buying icons. That's the one project I've been kind of like impressed by. It's like, bro, I didn't think this was actually going to make money. And then like I think I have over 100,000 users. Is it 100,000? I have a lot of users signed up on that, which I need to make sure I'm backing up my database, because that would suck if I lost all those emails. Do you find Neovim enjoyable better than VS Code for TypeScript? I think it's just subjective. I mean, there's like a certain thing about Neovim that you just feel, it just feels fun playing with. Honestly, it feels kind of like you're playing like a video game. And then like the fact that you don't need to use your trackpad, I guess, could be kind of beneficial to some people. In terms of proficiency, I'm definitely a lot more efficient using VS Code with cursor. Like a lot of this refactoring I'm doing right now in this project that took me like 2 hours in a stream last night, I could have gotten done in 5 minutes using cursor. I could have said, hey, refactor my zombie entity and just remove the movable trait and instead use a movable extension. And it would have just done it for me. But that's not to say that you can't use AI in Neovim. It's just I don't have it hooked up yet. And I'm trying to focus on just learning the key stuff before I bring in all this extra plugins, and then I'm just overwhelmed. Because right now in this stream alone, you guys have taught me like 5 or 6 different hotkeys. And so I want to like not learn too much in one day so that it actually sticks for the next day. I haven't tried Ghostly yet. I don't even know what it is. Someone said it's a terminal, I think. Prime's argument for it was it makes text editing fun. He said he was very fast with the mouse. Do you pay for cursor? I do pay for cursor. How do you go about marketing your own project? I don't really market my projects. I mean, like at one point I had all my projects in my YouTube descriptions, but unless I'm building like a specific project for coders, like no one's gonna use them from my channel, right? I tried doing like ads and stuff. Those didn't work out. I tried posting videos and stuff on X. It got some traffic. Overall, the marketing, I would say if you're going to build a project, like a side project, and you think you're going to build it into a successful project or company, you need to focus on learning how to market first, because it's very hard. Like convincing people to sign up for your app and use it. There's like thousands of apps out there already, and you have to stand out and you have to convince people to use your app. And sometimes you get lucky and you'll have like a viral video that kind of makes everyone come try your application. But it's just hard. So I would say spend a lot of time researching about marketing if you do want to build your own project and actually make money. Just knowing how to code and build stuff is just not enough. Like you need to, I would say even like find a teammate or a co-founder who is very, very good at marketing and like promotion and getting their product name out there. Cause that's like, I would say it's even more than 50% of the work. Building it, you know the saying, if you build it, they will come. That's just not true. You can build it and they will not know about it. Hey, last time I watched you, I think you were experiencing burnout. Just wondered how you're doing now. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, that's also why I'm playing with Neovim right now. It's like, I've made so many Next.js videos, and I've made so many tutorials where I spin up a new project. You know, npx, create next app, @ latest, and then I set up shadcn, I set up Drizzle ORM. It's like the same thing over and over again. And then you go to work and then you're doing React development and like just the same stuff every day, you know? So like sometimes you just got to learn something new, which is why I'm doing game dev, why I'm trying to learn Neovim. I recently got switched over to a new project at work that's using like Django. So that's kind of a nice change, although I'm not really excited about Django. I've been doing a lot of the DevOps stuff on that project to get it all set up to a CI/CD pipeline, get it deployed to AWS. But once that's done, it's like then I'll have to go back to doing the Django work. Not using Tailwind, I have to write CSS like a Neanderthal. I tried Neovim and understand by writing Java in IntelliJ is miles better than doing it in Neovim and setting up LSP. Yeah, I think it also depends on the language. In terms of the LSP, like I didn't have to do much to get it working with TypeScript. I just haven't tried big refactorings. Like if you've used Eclipse or NetBeans in Java, like you refactor one file and like it just traverses your whole code base and just refactors it all for you. I don't think renaming a symbol here will do that in your code base. I have to try it out. I'm currently paying for GitHub Copilot, but I'm thinking about paying for Cursor instead. What do you think? The reason I never switched is because I didn't want it to do everything for me. I don't know. I think, does Copilot hook in the Claude? I think the selling thing for Cursor was it was using Claude when I tried it, and I don't think Copilot was doing that. You can just use the autocomplete with Cursor, and it's actually really good. But when you start getting more complex things, like you need something that's going to index your whole code base. Because it's just nice when it can search over all your existing files and stuff and just give you suggestions. And then the IntelliSense, like the autocomplete is using your index files to give suggestions. So like the code is a lot more accurate that it gives you. Maybe Copilot does that now, but before it didn't. I know it's only $20. So I don't know where you live. If you're a software engineer living in the US, $20 a month, like, bro, you could buy 2 burgers at McDonald's and you've hit $20. So it's like it's worth paying for. If it makes you even 10%, 20% more efficient, it's totally worth paying for. All these AI tools are worth paying for if they make you even 20% more efficient at your job. Because if you imagine how much a software engineer is getting paid, if you can become more efficient, you can ship more functionality, you can fix more bugs. At least that's the idea. I don't know. Are we at the end of the stream? I don't know. I've been going for 1 hour and 16 minutes now. When it comes to Neovim commands, they're almost always mnemonic? I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's usually easier to remember them if you just keep that in mind. Oh, like the letters stand for something. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. So CIA would be changed inside bracket. DI would be delete inside bracket. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, Joey B. Do you think exploring work outside of web dev in the JS language? Do you think of exploring work outside of web dev in the... I don't know. I wish the market was a little bit better, and then I would potentially explore outside of what I'm doing. But I feel like with all those layoffs that just happened, like it's just not a good time to go explore and try to switch careers to do something else. Maybe that's just my fear, but like I think back in 2020 when COVID happened and like literally everyone was quitting their jobs and getting like new jobs and getting a 30% increase in pay, that would have been a good time to start exploring new stuff. But then you realize after 2 or 3 years, the exploration ended up falling off a cliff when everyone started getting fired and let go. So it's kind of a, you know, a risk you have to juggle. And web dev has paid my bills, so it's like I'd rather play it safe. I have a family and mouths to feed. I got health insurance and life insurance I need. And the team I work with is really nice too. So it's like I'm kind of stuck here. The grass is not always greener. That's like the most important saying you should understand. The grass is not always greener when it comes to switching careers. There's a lot of companies out there who don't believe in testing. There's a lot of companies out there who do not believe in work-life balance. There's a lot of companies who will call you on a weekend asking you to come in and do something or like fix something. It's like, dude, why would you have to do that? So getting outside of web dev would be cool, but it's just that risk of like, am I still going to have that great work-life balance I have now that I've known about for the past like 10 years doing this professionally? Not worth the risk in my opinion. I've tried Neovim and tried to configure it, take a lot of time, and then I switched back to VS Code with Vim extension and custom keyboard. Yeah, that's another approach you can do as well. Just use the Vim extension. Do you have any advice to make money with programming and getting a high-paying job? I'm worried. A lot of full stack lead dev, but I am not getting the results I want. What? I am worrying. Oh, you are worrying a lot as a full stack lead dev. I don't understand your question. You are a full stack lead dev, but you're asking how do you make money and get a job? Do you not have a job as a full stack lead dev? Or are you just not getting paid well? If you feel like you're getting shafted in terms of your pay, I mean, yeah, that's when you go and you like start applying places and try to get job offers and either use those offers as leverage to ask your current company to pay you more, depending on how valuable you are at that company. Just be like, listen, I know how this entire code base works. Someone just offered me an increase of like 30% salary. I'm going to take it unless you guys can match that. And you guys need to match it like now, right? And if you don't want to, oh, I am working a lot as a full-time. I'm not even getting paid even a fraction of what I should get paid. Yeah, I would say go and start applying to jobs, go to interviews, get those offer letters, see if they'll give you a pay increase. If you don't feel like you're getting paid what you're worth, like definitely go out there and try to find other positions. I am working more than 10 hours a day in full stack web dev, but I am stuck. Yeah, it's hard because, I mean, first of all, if you're not living in America, I can't give you advice as an American. Some countries, like, they're just going to overwork you, and there's nothing you can do about it because there's, like, no other options out there. My best option, my best suggestion, again, is just keep on applying places, keep on networking and connecting with other developers. Maybe you'll get your foot in the door somewhere better, to get a pay raise and get a better work-life balance. How can we convince you to stay in the sweetest words from the boss? Oh, how can we convince you to stay is the sweetest words from a boss? Yeah, that means you got the you got that leverage. What are the skills that you are looking for junior devs? Honestly, a junior dev, where I work, we don't even hire junior devs. Like, we have an internship program where we try to like hire people who are enthusiastic and want to learn, and then we like train them up to speed. But in terms of a junior dev, like, again, like just being eager to go and learn new things, speaking up in meetings, showing that you can actually solve problems on by yourself and not need help all the time. I don't know. I also don't do the hiring. I just don't want to do hiring, so I don't do interviews. I'm not a team player. What do you think about Nest.js as a backend? I think it's fine. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be good. Where's my... Here it is. Dang, sorry to hear you got laid off. Are you asking if we're hiring? Listen, I don't talk about where I work. There's too many weird people out there on the internet, and I would rather them not even know, like, where I work. It's not like a prestigious place or anything, but it's just like, you know, they've paid my bills for a long time, so I'd rather keep it going. I feel like I'm respected where I work. I feel like I'm able to make contributions and help make projects successful where I work. Yeah, I don't know if we're hiring. And also, I don't really know you, so I wouldn't, like, just put in a referral for you if I don't know you. Okay, what do I want to do here? There's, like, so much more refactoring we could do in this code base. I'm not going to stream all day. One thing I was working on at some point, I was trying to make a fire entity. And the fire entity, basically, when you walked over it, I wanted it to catch the zombie on fire. Just hardcode 16 everywhere, why not? Can you use whatever AI tools you want on your job, or is it locked down to only internal LLMs? Right now, the project I'm on, I can use whatever AI tools I want. The previous one, they did not want AI tooling. Personally, I would not want to work somewhere that doesn't allow AI at this point. Like, it's like it's like you're intentionally handicapping yourself as a developer. I know there's people who have different opinions on AI. I have used it, and I have seen such an increase in my productivity that it just doesn't make sense not to use it. Granted, there's some things you should probably implement yourself if you want to be more secure and make sure your stuff is performant. But when it comes to web development and, like, just trying to get something basic built, like, it just doesn't make sense to work at a company that says, oh, you can't use AI tooling. Like, I don't know. But I could see the concerns, like having this tool that reads your code base. Maybe you have a .env file in your code base, and the AI tool decides it wants to read that .env file and send over your keys to a remote server. How would you know that? You would not know it. Cursor could be doing that right now. We would not know. You could know, but I mean, who's actually spending the time investigating the network requests that Cursor and VS Code's making? You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely security concerns. Especially now that Cursor can run commands. Like, it can run terminal commands on your computer. So, I don't know. Just investigate the company. Where is the company based? Are they based in your own country of origin? Does that make it less risky? Probably not. What are the code design or architecture is good for adhering to solid principles for easier maintenance when our code base gets bigger? I mean, I think to answer your question, CW, you should go and read the Gang of Four book about design patterns of like object-oriented programming, if that's what you're using, and then understand the solid principles. But I would not say like proactively apply them everywhere you can. Just understand that they're like different tools that you can apply to your code base when you see a pattern that emerges that you can use them on. I think some of the most important ones are like try to use interfaces as much as possible and try to avoid inheritance is like what I've seen. Inheritance can get very, very troublesome at some point. Honestly, I need to go back and read those books. I read them at one point, but I just feel like the examples that are in those books are so bad. Like they give the most basic, dumb examples. It's like, no, I want examples that apply to a real code base, not a code base that was written in 1990. So it's hard for me to read those, read the examples, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea. It's like, no, I don't even understand what the point of this pattern you just taught me is, because your examples are so bad. Did you use the tiled map editor for the maps? I have not yet, but I want to actually bring that in. The maps are all procedurally generated. So like if I showed you the map manager, you'll see that we have a bunch of biomes, is what I called them. So like at the very center of the map, you have the campsite biome. I plan to put like a campfire here that has some light that emits so that during the day and night cycles, like when it becomes dark, you can at least have some light around your campfire. And then I got the forest biome, and then I have a water biome. So the idea is to come in through here and add like different biomes like farm, city, whatever else you can think of. And then the map just randomly gets generated when the server starts. And at the very center, it does the campsite. And then around that, it starts just adding random biomes. And on the very outskirts, it just puts a huge bunch of like impassable trees. So I don't really need the tiled map editor per se on this project since it's all procedurally generated. But creating the biomes, I think using the tiled editor could help make that easier. When did you change from Cursor to Vim? Just recently. I've been trying to play around with Neovim, that's it. I'm still using, I literally have Cursor over here, right? I still have Cursor going. And when I'm not streaming, you best believe I'll probably be using Cursor again. I'm not going to use Neovim in my actual, like, trying to be effective. But the more I use it, the more it's growing on me. You always code, how do you find ideas to build projects? I mean, just look around. Like, what are some things that you could build for yourself that people might need? Or that you might need yourself? Old code and obsolete patterns sum up my college experience. I just graduated. Up until my last term, I was still writing Spring apps. Oh, Jesus. Spring. My first job using Java was using like Spring and the Hibernate ORM. Had like XML files everywhere. I'm like, yo, is this what coding is? Like, is this what coding actually is? Like, I'm just configuring XML files for dependency injection. I feel like the people who use Java in like Spring, like they read about a couple of design patterns and they're like, yes, let's add this to every single thing we can in our code base so that it's impossible to understand what's going on. Who forced you to use Neovim? So I have this fire entity, and the idea is that when you walk over it, it's supposed to basically catch the zombie on fire. And so unfortunately, I don't think I have like a What is my triggerable? I have this trigger cooldown attacker, which deals damage every so often to anything that walks over it. Here's a trigger extension. What does this do? It trigger box. So like, I feel like I need to extend this trigger thing and call it new triggerable. This. By the way, what I'm doing right here is called like top level discovery. I don't know what the real name for it is, but basically like I need to implement a feature. There's two ways you could do it. You could do it from the bottom up. So you could try to start from like, okay, I'm going to make an extension. I'm going to figure out how I could add stuff to this extension so that people can use it. Or I could do a top down approach where I have this entity. I need it to do something. Let's just assume I already have an extension that exists. How would I envision the interface working for using this extension? And I think what I would do is I would say on entity entered. And then I could say like catch fire, bind this. Okay, so I'm kind of like doing experimentation here, which would mean I need to say catch fire. Okay. And that's kind of like the start. Okay, so if I have this triggerable thing, maybe what I could do is add a on entity entered, which could just be a function, takes in an entity, does nothing. Okay. And then down here, we'll say set, or sorry, you can say on entity entered. Just put it any for right now, whatever. This dot on entity entered equals callback. Maybe I'll call it on enter. Why is this red? Can't tell. It's declared, but it's never read. I think it's because I have two things with the same name. So oh yeah, duh. We'll do this. I meant to say set. Cannot find triggerable. Void is not assignable to type. What is this complaining about? Type void set entity. Do I need to return this here? No. Set on entity enter doesn't return the extension. On consume this dot bind dot dit. Oh, thank you. What's up? Of course. Is that what's going on here? Triggerable. It needs a width and a height. Okay, that's kind of annoying. How do you redo in Vim? Welcome to the stream, Jan. Just do this, whatever. This thing I need to, what do I need to do? I need to catch this entity on fire. Okay, so this one will be easy. I gotta say entity dot, can I add an extension? Protected extensions. Get the extensions. I feel like there's something missing here. I think that's all I need to do. Because I have this ignitable extension here, and if I go to the definition, basically it just keeps on damaging the entity every second or something. At least that was the idea. I don't think, is it actually doing that? Get the extension of destructible, damage it by 1. So there's some stuff I should probably do here to like change the damage of it in the cooldown. To do this should be configurable for damage / cooldown. Control R is the built-in one. Okay. So I guess we could test this out and see if it works. Wait, set on entity entered. This wouldn't work because I need to say, I need to have a public update method. And I think what I need to do is also like open up the trigger cooldown, because this has an update method on it. And it's almost like I want to grab all this stuff. What is this actually doing? I need to get all the entities. This doesn't even have an entity manager on it. Yeah, I might actually do like, I don't know how to go to the beginning of a word. Okay, so get all the entities that are nearby. Hey, thanks, John Dizzle. Victim type. What is this? Okay, for right now, I'm going to hard code this. But I think the way this works is I need to find all the zombies. I think that's how you do it? No? CIW to delete the word. Okay. B to go to the start of the word. Ah, thank you. How do you go to the end of the word? So get all the entities. I just want the zombies. Get the trigger box. Wait, why? What is this? Triggerable. Triggerable is the trigger box. Okay. Why am I doing that? That's weird. Self get extension triggerable. I don't feel like I need to do that. I should just feel say this dot get trigger box. Trigger center, get the center of the trigger box. And then I need to loop over and get the hitboxes. I'm just going to magic code. I'm going to magic number all these. All right, super hacky. What this is going to do is when an entity walks over this triggerable area, it's going to know that, hey, a zombie just walked over me, and it's within a 10 pixel radius. So let's just go ahead and call this method. That method actually is going to catch the entity on fire. I need to add some logic to like not keep doing it over and over again, because that's going to be problematic. It's almost like this needs to be called a one-time trigger. And then it'll make it more reusable for like waypoints or something where you like walk over it and it just fires once and then that's it. It will never fire again on that entity or something. So it's almost like I need to say if, I could probably here say if it already has ignitable, don't add it again. So let's just do this. If it doesn't have that extension, we'll add it. It's a hack. I think there's a better way we can do this. What is this cloth? Why do I have cloth here? Anyway, map. Let's just see if this works. I don't think this will work, but I'm also going to end the stream here in a second. The map manager. And then we want to... Somewhere there's like a temporary thing that we're doing. Is that going to work? Where is it going to put this thing? I think I need to set the position of it. No, what am I doing? Okay. Let's just put it middle x plus 32. Y, middle y, plus 16. I don't know where this is going to put this. And then also, I don't think I have a, like a fire for the client. You could have something that rearms the trigger if you leave the trigger box. So you need a state to know if the trigger is armed or not. Yeah, so I do have something similar for like a spike trap. So you walk over the spike trap and it fires, and then it has a cooldown, and then it reloads and it fires again. This one's a little different. This one is just like fire that's going to be sitting on the map. If anything walks over it, it's going to catch that thing on fire, but then it won't try to catch it on fire again in the future. And then after a certain amount of time, I'd have the fire on the map just like go away. So I think that'd be good for like if you had a fire trap, or if you had like a flamethrower, or like you throw a grenade, maybe you can catch something on fire. But yeah, I agree that there could be some type of state that keeps track of like the state needs to be attached to the entity itself that it caught on fire, and not necessarily on the trap itself. Unless the trap has like a lookup map and it knows what entities is already caught on fire. I don't think this will work though. I think this is actually going to fail. Yeah, so right now we have an issue where in the client, it doesn't know how to handle this thing. So it's almost like I need to go, where are we at now? Items, buildings, bullets. It's almost like I want to do traps. I don't know if it's really a trap though, but I'm going to make one called fire PS. Paste that in. We'll say fire client. Why can I not find asset manager? No, what'd I do? Wait, how did I just mess? Okay, fire client. Okay, there's some, let's see if this is working. So if this works, oh, there's my fire. There, he's on fire now, and he dies. Pretty legit. Surprised I got that working. So I just need to add like a fire animation here, and then also a fire animation on the zombie itself to like designate that it got caught on fire. But I think we're making some good progress. I'm gonna go ahead and just say will that catch me on fire though? No, I think it only catches the zombie on fire. Pretty cool. What's with the jacket? It's just a little cold in my office. I can't run a space heater up here because then the fan will be too loud and the background noise would be annoying. Yeah, this is all in Canvas. Cool. Anyway, that's, I mean, we got it going. We got the whole fire thing going. We did a lot of other refactorings. Learned a little bit about Neovim. Learned some new key bindings. Again, before I end the stream, quick recap. What did we learn in Neovim? We learned how to select the inner text, which I could say C, and then I could say inner, and then I could say curly brace. Okay, I can go ahead and delete all the inner text and rewrite stuff there. I'm also in insert mode. Undo, redo. Okay, we learned that. You can also select inner. I could select outer. We learned how to look at the Typescript errors. Okay. We also learned how to search diagnostic. Here's globally all the Typescript errors. What else did we learn? How to select the word CIW. VIW, I mean. Okay, there we go. Wait, does that also VIW? It looks like it doesn't get the last character, though. I could do delete inner word. Okay, DIW is good. DIW. CIW, and I can start typing. Okay, those are very, very important to learn. CIW, DIW, VIW, those are important. Star, we learned about star. How to rename something. I think it's space RN. And I can rename it. I'm sure there's some other stuff I learned. Going to a definition, I already knew that. Yeah, I'm slowly learning. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for joining. It's been 2 hours, but I hope you guys enjoyed watching me add some features to this game. And maybe I'll stream again either tomorrow or next week if I get some time. Is this an NVim distro? No, I'm just using whatever Kickstart Neovim was. Cool. All right, well, have a good day, y'all. Happy coding, and join my Discord if you want to talk about this game to me directly. And if you want to contribute, also join the